to support the platform just in case anything like this happens again, you can do it by way of PayPal, Patreon, Cash App, and also by the Anchor. And you can also further support the platform by way of going to the Teespring store or the shoe store that is located in the comment section below. For the longest time possible, I've been trying to figure out how it is that I'm going to cover stories like this, because I guess a certain part of me started to care about the comments, and then I was just like, fuck it. And I had to realize at the end of the day, in order to, in a sense, shut people up and to shut certain people down, I have to start bringing forth proof of a lot of the things that I talk about and a lot of the things that are echoed, right, throughout the social media universe, where people want to inform those of just because you feel that things are better on the other side does not necessarily mean that things are actually better on the other side. So here we go. Seriously, how black men are going to be mad at me for being with the white man? Y'all literally got a whole page calling me the image that you see. Stop complaining and compete with other races of men instead of the black woman. Build something in your community instead of worrying about my relationship. He later stated, I replied to one of Kevin Samuel's posts, and you go crazy. You sure do protect your daddy, huh? If you protect your woman and kids how you do Kevin Samuel's, our community would be a safer place. Daddy, less clowns.
But something ain't right. Something ain't right. And damn it, it's time that we find out.
Now, this is the main thing that I'm trying to get a lot of black women to understand. When you decide to side with these individuals, you're not even certain exactly who these individuals are or who it is that they represent, meaning you don't know exactly specifically who their home team is. Just because they look black doesn't mean that they actually are black. From what everything that I was able to gather, this woman refers to herself as Dominican. And when you go and look at her social media, you also see her mother, who is Dominican. So like I said before, for the black woman out there who decided to body block for this woman, that wanted to side with this woman, she is not even for you. She even later on stated that when she decided to broaden, right, her reach, when she decided to talk about both Kevin Samuels and black men, by basically saying y'all community. When somebody is saying y'all community, that means that they are not a part of the community. They don't figure themselves to be within or amongst those people. She is telling you within her wording that she is clear cut separate from black people. But then she wanted to wrap it back around and said that the community, right, or our community would be safer. So how is that possible? Which one is it? Are you Dominican or are you Black American? Which one are you specifically trying to represent and say that you are a part of? Like I said before, this is why I need people to start taking closer looks at the people of which they decide to side with. But it gets better. Let's keep going.
For all my beautiful black queens that are so infatuated with dating a white man, do your thing, sis. I hear you. All right, hooray, because the other side ain't much better.
You heard what it is that she had to state. She wanted to yet again cheer on and tell her sisters, hip hip hooray, I understand. That's right, go for the other side. It's just the best side. I understand. I completely know, because black men are really nothing and are no better to begin with. So you might as well go elsewhere. Now, the main thing that I happen to tell a lot of black women is that we have incidences, right, where individuals will specifically pick and choose the types of men of which they decide to date. A lot of women who state that they have bad interactions with black men, they choose those type of wrong black men. Meaning, let's go for the glaring examples, the most obvious examples, right? The ones that are always talked about and highlighted, which are the Pookie and the Ray Rays, which are the ones that rip and run throughout the streets, do a lot of the crime. They're continuously in and out of jail. They have records. They got gun charges. They're into dealing drugs. They're into abandoning their responsibilities, abandoning the household, disruption and chaos directly into the community. A lot of black women decide to go towards the Pookie and Ray Rays because that is something that is glorified, right? Within the black community, and not only in the black community, but also when it deals with the society that we live in as well. So the Pookie and Ray Rays, they show up on the news. They're highlighted in movies as the dangerous guy, but yet he has a heart, yet there is an underlining goodness somewhere about him, but yet he still has that rough edge, and yet I still want to save and try to fix him. I want to try to, you know, make a Negro, right? So to say, right? And then you also look at the elements such as music. Both you have black male rap artists that will highlight this negativity, but then they will flip it into a positive attribute. And then you will have black women who are supposed to be, as what most people would say, are the backbone of the black community. They will use their music and their lyrics to highlight the negative, quote unquote, Pookie and Ray Ray, and then flip it as in to say this is something that black women should desire, something that black women should, in a sense, want, when realistically it's not, or it shouldn't be, so to say.
But one thing you have to understand when you deal with white men, the minute you do one wrong thing, one wrong thing, wrong, just one, you're done.
But then this happened. Never again will I ever trust white people. The family legally kidnapped my son by writing fake police reports stating that I hurt my child. We all know that is a lie. Everything they put on that police report was a lie. That's why the judge threw the case out. Since that failed, they filed for emergency custody, lying again under oath on the report, asking for full custody with no visitation. They want to take my son and take me completely out of the picture. I don't deserve any of this. I got called the N-word, stomped on, and then left out in the street. Got all of my money taken, lost everything. Now they want my child. They are doing this because I'm black. These people are sick. These people are evil. All I did was argue with a man that exposed his genitalia to me. He is an ex-police officer that's using his connections. Please, anyone that's going to law school in the Connecticut area, please help me. Please, I'm a mother in pain. All this happened in one day. There was no prior incident before this. Now, I'm pretty sure you're wondering, how did everything just accelerate to this extent? Before you saw the video where she was stating that, hey, cheers, my sisters, that's right, go for the white man, things are better on the other side, yada, yada, yada. And then she wanted to try to give a little bit of a disclaimer to try to warn her sisters that, hey, if you don't act right, if you don't say the right things, it's completely donezo. So, right, you have a divestor, in a sense, telling black women the actual truth of the matter. And then within, as she stated, one day when she had an argument and all of these other things were supposed to take place, she pretty much almost ended up losing everything, if not actually losing everything. But there were warning signs to this being a thing and the potentiality of this being an outcome. Let's take a look.
At this point, I don't care how I look on TikTok. I am a mother grieving that got her son taken from her by a racist police officer that exposed himself to me 3 days prior to this incident. I kept telling my child's father, do not bring him over the house anymore, and he still did. He called them over the day when he hit me. Why would you call your father over? Why? Called him over. We argued. After that, he took my fucking son. That's fucking kidnapping. I have nothing to lie about. God knows the truth. And eventually, the truth will come out. You think I like making these TikToks? You think that I like my business out there? I'm scared for my fucking life. That's why I'm posting these TikToks.
More information. My fiance's dad is a retired cop who hates black people. I should have left his family alone once he told me to talk his daughter out from marrying or dating black men. He is doing everything in his power to keep his son away from me. He is obsessed with me. Everything was fine into the day his father told me to do some things. And I said no. My fiance took his side along with my son. His father had him break the lease to our new home. Now, because of an argument with his father, he is taking me to court for full custody with no visitation. And my son is 10 months old.
Another one.
Didn't know you was a racist, reading to my son, acting like I was a part of the family. Y'all people are demons for real. Now I know why y'all never wanted my son around. And you work at an elementary school. Now, maybe I'm a little bit, maybe my math is off, right? But usually in math, they teach you that 1 plus 1 equals 2, correct? So if the father is a racist, right, and then the mother is a racist, and they come together and bond, and within that union they form a child, then that means that the child would, maybe I'm taking it too far. I'm sorry. Everybody's different. Everybody's an individual. But let's go back to the main point, right? She stated that the father who told her specifically, the Dominican, that hey, I need you to talk my daughter out of dating black guys. That's just not going to be a thing. That's just not going to happen. But you have to ask yourself, if you want her, right, to tell your daughter not to marry black guys, then doesn't that also mean that he doesn't like you and he doesn't want you there and he doesn't want those kids there as well? But then also within him stating that, she also stated that he had a sexualized fantasy type of ordeal where he decided to show himself off directly to his son's fiance slash wife. And the reason why I said the 1 plus 1 equals 2, and I step back off of that, is because I don't have any real proof to show that the son is racist. But the most interesting thing about the son is the fact that he took his father's side. He has a wife, he has a fiance, soon to be wife. They had a house that they put down money on, and they also have a brand new child from that union. And when she decided to come to him with that truth, he was like, you know what? I'm going to take my family over you. And he left off, and he split directly from the engagement. He split directly from the home, and he split from, in a sense, being that mother and that father type of thing. He was like, you know what? You're not about to get no money or child support from me. I got people that can help me take care of this. I'm going to take the kid, and then you can just be off and deal with the other kid that you got. Deuces. So I guess technically thinking back, I guess 1 plus 1 does equal 2. So a racist plus a racist then will going to equal up to a racist. But you know what? There's more.
So to make a long story short, this is basically all due to a fucking argument. I woke up, I was in a bad mood. Me and my ex fiance was just arguing back and forth. He ended up hitting me, slammed me on
You're a victim.
Here we go, CSI.
the ground. And after he did that, he called his daddy. His daddy came, and then I started arguing with his daddy. Like, what the fuck you here for? And after that, he was arguing with me, called me
Nigga!
Tell me he didn't just say that.
but and pretty much left and took my baby. Bam, slam. That's pretty much done. Clear as that. But now they're stating, right? But this is not on the police report. But now you're stating that you took my kid because I hit him, which it never happened. It didn't. You're taking my kid because you want to take my kid. You want to take everything from me, and you feel like I don't deserve anything because I'm black and I had sex with your son.
Hear me clearly.
America is not a racist country.
We need to address, well, first of all, no, I don't think America is a racist country.
So we are able to understand that this Dominican who does not necessarily identify as black up until something troubling takes place in their life for which they have nowhere else to run or hide, and they need something in order to, showcase that, hey, this is why I'm being mistreated. Well, it could be that, or it could very possibly be the reason why she is getting mistreated is because she is deaf, dumb, and stupid. Now, the reason I'm stating that is due to the fact that this individual who has stated that they are Dominican knows of other examples of what it is that black women face in America. More than likely knows the history or a reference of the history, or has seen some news references and or articles that touch on the fact of how black women have been seen, discussed, discriminated against, treated, and what type of racism, right, black women face directly within this country. Now, for the life of me, I cannot understand why is it that a woman that is as melanated as she is would then deem that, you know what, these women over here, regardless of the skin complexion, they might have had some issues, but obviously look at me. Right, she probably more than likely feels that she's a 10. She feels that she is the pick of the litter, and she feels that she deserves the best and will get the best, but obviously she ended up getting the bottom of the barrel. She got what is below the gutter. She got the underbelly of the whale, aka where the barnacles are. That is, in a sense, what she was able to get. And because she decided to mate into the bottom of the barrel, she ended up receiving and getting the treatment that she received, right? But even still within that, I still feel that if the fiance or the ex-fiance were to come back into her life and apologize, a few times, and want to put the family back together, and he wants to go back on the agreement of getting married and the house and everything like that, I'm pretty sure she would run directly back to him and forget pretty much a lot of the things that took place up until the exact same things happened yet again. Because at the end of the day, that man that she was going to get married to, he plays for home. He doesn't play for her. He's not worried about her family, no matter. And she has images and videos of him being around the family, her mom, and different things of this nature. But this is how chameleon like they are. And this is what the Divestor movement will not tell black women when they decide that they want to go out there and venture and be with a Caucasian individual. This is the types of things that transpire and takes place. But you know what? Let's not make this a completely sad event. Let's go back to some happier times. What would you do if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me? Lend me your ears and I'll sing you a song. I'll try not to sing out of key, yeah. She was, in a sense, soon to be married. She was going to have a home. She was going to have a husband, right? Um, I mean, the positive part is at least she didn't get left as a single mother. Oh, wait, she did. He took the first one and she still. Well, I mean, hey, you can't win them all. That's the the best way to look at it. You came into the situation um the same way that you left, a single mother. She later stated, when they say dating white men are better, then the first white man you ever date completely ruins your life more than any other.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Another.
Now, this was the grand epiphany that she came into when she's at the laundromat and not at her own home, because more than likely she doesn't really have that luxury at the moment in time, because it was the white man that was giving her that luxury of having a washer and a dryer and a home and a warm bed and all of these nice amenities, right? Because as we all know, a lot of women like to say that they are independent, they're rugged, they can do it all by themselves. I mean, you got to give her credit. She's doing it all by herself, the same way that she was doing before she met that man and that racist family that she decided to bear a child with and share DNA with. And now she has to suffer along with the fact of knowing that those individuals, that family is going to be raising that child as more than likely Caucasian, versus whatever it is that she wants to raise them as, or impart whatever knowledge that she has of her culture. Like I said, that's going to be a whole part of the family that that child is not going to know. There's going to be a lot of history that, in a sense, will be lost and, in a sense, never found, because I'm pretty sure that that family is going to make sure that she never, ever, 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 ever sees that child ever again. And the only person that she has to blame for that is herself. At no point in time can any black man ever be blamed for that, even though she tried. So she stated, why is it that when something bad happens to black women, why are black men the first to celebrate? Now, the thing about that is, black men are not the first ones to celebrate. Usually, black men are not the ones to be the first to say anything about it to an extent. It's the fact that whenever you happen to talk negatively or speak negatively about black men are going to have a they're 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 just going to be there to tell you, like, see, we tried to tell you. You know, you decided to want to play around with fire and didn't think that you were going to get burned, and see, you got burned. So you learned your lesson. That's, in a sense, what it is. But like I said before, you want to take it as some other type of way and try to, in a sense, sort of kind of spin it and try to blame it on black men, or try to frame it as though black men has something to do with your selection, when realistically it was you that put yourself in this mess to begin with. So let's condense all of this here. She said, in 24 hours, he managed to leave me homeless, take my baby away from me, empty out my bank account, physically abuse me, then call me the N word, all because I got into an argument with his sick father for trying to go after her. Now, remember what I said earlier on in the video where I said 1 + 1 = 2? Well, there's your proof that usually if a racist lays down with another racist and they combine their racist energy, then that formula is then going to create another racist. So before, as I stated before to you, I didn't have any type of proof to 100% state that he is a racist. Now there's your proof. And this also proves that a lot of these men out here who like to masquerade and chameleon themselves to make it seem as though that they love black women and care about black women, respect them, and all these other things, it's all it is a facade. They used her, in a sense, for all intents and purposes, for her DNA. That's exactly what they did. And they got exactly what they wanted, because they worked off of the hatred that she has, not only within and for herself, but also for the men of her community. And because of that hatred, they were able to swindle, they were able to double talk, and they were able to use her all up until there was nothing left, and use her as a discarded, broken mess that she was before they even met her. So, long story short, this is not a black man's fault. This is the fault of a black woman, or the black women that go out there and selectively think and feel that they're going to receive or get better from another group of men that are not of them or for them. And the end result is what you see in front of you.